you struggling with cash flow? Are you worried about actually keeping a profit in your business? Or are you just afraid of running out of money? What I'm going to teach you today is a proven, systematic way of making sure that you don't run out of money, that you keep profit, that you're paying yourself as an owner, and this is known worldwide. I'm going to teach you the profit first system, and we're going to do it right now in 3, in 2, in 1. Welcome everyone to the show. I'm so excited for the topic that we have in store for you today. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button so that you can watch every show going forward. What's up everyone? Welcome back to the show. My name is Vince Perri and this is your YouTube show for all of the entrepreneurial, public adjuster, and just business owner advice to really take your game to the next level. Take your business to the next level, take your life to the next level. And what we're focusing on this month is a lot of systems and processes. You can check out up here, we're gonna pop them up here, the different AI videos that we've put up and all of the different things on making sure that you have checklists and processes throughout your business. But today, it's all about money. Today, it's all about making sure that you don't run out of it. Today is all about making sure that your business is profitable, because if it is not profitable, then guess what? You won't be able to have an opportunity to actually reinvest it into your company to help it scale. And also, it's not going to be worth anything or valuable if you decide to one day sell it. Because I will tell you something, being a business broker myself and being an acquisition person myself, the first thing that we look at when a business wants to sell, we look to make sure that that business is profitable. That's the number one thing. What is the cash flow of the business? And today I'm going to teach you a very systemized way. It's known as the profit first system. You're going to want to get the book right here. We'll put it somewhere right here. You're going to want to get this book. You're going to want to read through this book, and you're going to want to get a good understanding of how to properly organize your finances. Because if you do not, you're not going to know where this money goes. Because I'll tell you from experience, from a very bad experience, back in 2023, we had a hurricane that hit, and I thought that we were going to be so profitable. I went on a hiring spree. I was cash flow heavy at the time, and I decided, well, we got this hurricane, cash flow is going to start coming in. Let me start spending all the cash that I have now. What ended up happening is not as much cash flow as I had anticipated came in time, that I ended up almost running out of money. Basically, at the end of 2023, 2024, I was borderline bankrupt. I have never actually said this story in public, and I'm saying it to you now on YouTube because, well, quite frankly, like anything else that happens that is catastrophic in your life, it ultimately ends up being one of the best learning experiences that you could have. And ever since then, what I've decided is to make sure that I am profitable. Make sure that as a business, the money continues to keep flowing in, and when it does flow in, you put it away to where you need to put it. When I first started out as a public adjuster and I was a one-man band on my own, I remember I basically implemented this my own version of this profit first system myself. What was the first thing that I would do? Is if I got a check for whether $1,000, $100, or $10,000, the first thing that I would do is I would put 20% away into a bank account that I couldn't really get easy access to. Then after that, I would put away my bills, and then whatever was left over, it would be for fun money. That's basically what the profit first system is all about. It's making sure that any revenue that comes into the company, any revenue at all, every 2 weeks or every week or every month, you're going to take that revenue and you're going to empty out that revenue account, and you're going to split it amongst the different bank accounts that I'm going to tell you about right now. But before we get into it, I want to make sure that you subscribe to the channel. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business owner, if you're anything in regards to business, and really also, I'm going to get into a lot of mindset and lifestyle stuff as well that you guys are going to really, really like, but you're going to love this show. And I want you to go into the rabbit hole. If you're a public adjuster, I mean, forget about it. You're going to get enough information here where you could take and scale your business to the next level. And if that's something you're interested to, I want you to click on one of the links below. Go ahead and make sure that you get into access to one of our free webinars that we have that you're going to want to really check out. So, but other than that, I want you to subscribe. I want you to like, and I want you to hit the bell. Why? Is because every week we come out with not 1, not 2, but 3 pieces of content. On Monday, I have my guest show. It's a Beyond the Claim podcast. I'm either in person or virtual with a very unique and exciting guest in relation to business. We got business coaches, we got finance people, and we've got marketing people and sales people that I think you're going to find a lot of interest in. On Wednesday, you've got me one-on-one, where I'm going to teach you a new valuable lesson that you can take into your business, into your entrepreneurial journey, and really use it and scale it to the next level. I'm all about making impact, guys. And here in 2025 and from now on forward, I'm going to make sure that I impact you in your life and in your business so that you can take your life and your business and everything around you, your family included, to a whole other level. And then on Sundays, we get personal. Sundays, I go live. 10 a.m. sharp Eastern. You're going to want to sit down with me. You have an opportunity to ask me any questions, but I take you to a deep dive of my entire week, my week to come, and just some of my thoughts that I'm having that I think I get very, very personal, and I think that you'll like. I think you'll get something out of that as well. We've gotten some very good positive response about that. So without further ado, let's get into it, and make sure you follow me on social media as well. So you got to remember that what is profit, right? Profit is the money that you actually make. Profit is the money that you actually have left over, technically, after all of the expenses have sort of run out. If you go and you look at a P&L, a profit and loss statement, it basically just takes, the revenue, gross revenue, minus all of your expenses. You could start with the cost of goods, okay, if you have that. We also call it COGS, but then you have all the operating expenses as well. And really what's left over is your net profit, is your actual cash flow that you have in the business. Now, contrary to public belief, you sometimes want to actually have profit. Now, if you listen to a tax accountant or something like that, they're going to try to tell you you're going to want to spend money because then you're going to have to pay more in taxes. Now, please, take it from me. If you follow this strategy here, you're already going to have money left over for taxes anyway. You want to make sure that you make profit. If you learn anything in this video, or if you stop right now, that's okay, because I'm going to tell you one thing and one thing only. Be profitable. What does be profitable means is, yes, you will have to pay more taxes, but like I said, if you follow this process that I'm going to teach you right now, that you could also learn in the book, Profit First, you're going to already have money for the taxes. So make sure that you have money and you have profit left over, because what it does is it gives you, rule number one in becoming super wealthy is you have to have cash, because opportunities present themselves. And when they do, that's when you want to attack, that's when you want to jump in, and that's when you want to go ahead and reinvest it into something else and potentially into another cash flowing business. Because if you just stick with the one business, take it from me, I'm telling you, either you're going to get bored or you're just going to have to figure out other ways to make money. You want several revenues of income, and one of those things may be to acquire another business, and you want to have the cash flow in order to do it. So that's basically the background, and that's the big idea that I really want you to learn. Is number one is you have to be organized. Number two is you have to have a systematic way of doing it. Whether it's your way, this way, another way, have a process. Have a systematic way of actually keeping your finances in order. It's so important if you're going to be not only successful in business, but just overall wealthy. Wealthy people, what separates them amongst the other people that aren't quite as quote unquote wealthy is, quite frankly, how they handle their money. And number one rule is you have to value your money. That's right. Doesn't mean that you're money hungry or that you're a bad person. You have to put a value on it, and you have to make sure it's going to the right places before you just start spending it all. Well, I hope you enjoyed what you've had so far, because wait until you see what's coming up next, and don't forget to subscribe. So let's get into it right now. So we're going to break this down into some real actionable steps. As a matter of fact, I'm going to break it down into 4 steps if you are going to do this correctly. Now, this might sound crazy, but step number 1 is you're going to have to set up not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 business accounts minimum. So my company, Elite Resolutions, for example, actually we have more than that, but you're going to want, for your particular business, you're going to want to have 5 business accounts. That's right, 5, and I'm going to name them all right now. But you're going to want to talk to your banker. They're going to love the idea of you opening more bank accounts, because ultimately it's better for them. But get a relationship with your banker. Talk to them. Let them know what you're doing. They might actually be very interested, and they might actually be very impressed that you're so dedicated and focused to make sure that you are organized with your finances. So you're going to open up 5 business accounts, and also talk to your banker to say, hey, I don't want any kind of late fees or any kind of charges for that, because if they do that, then you know what? Move on to another bank, because if you build a relationship with your banker, they're going to like the fact the more accounts that you start opening, the better it's ultimately going to be. So how do we separate these accounts? All right, ready? But we're going to go, account number 1 is going to be your income account. You could call it income, you could call it revenue, wherever the money comes into your account, any money that you actually generate, that you actually make, it's always going to go into one account and one account only, okay? We'll call it the income account, or we'll call it the revenue account, okay? And from there, that's where you do your distributions. You're going to distribute to the other accounts, right? So number 1 is the income account. Number 2 is going to be the profit account. Number 3 is going to be the owner's compensation account. Number 4 is going to be your tax account. And then number 5 is going to be your OPEX, your operating expenses. Now, what is a profit account? Basically, as soon as money comes in, you want to allocate a percentage into profit. That's right. Right off the bat, you're going to give yourself some profit into your company. It's going to make you feel good. It's going to make you feel like you're actually making some money in the company. Number 2, we talked about the owner's compensation account. Who doesn't love an owner's compensation account? And you're going to pay yourself immediately. But at least now you're paying yourself based on how much revenue you're taking in. Now, if you have a salary or you have some kind of salary already accounted for, you're going to want to sort of include that in that percentage. That's where this gets a little bit more complex. And if you want to take a deep dive with me or you're interested, you could book a call with me and I can really take you all the way in as to how it goes. But you're going to also allocate a percentage to you, to the owner, to the owner's compensation account. Let's not forget though, we're not done yet. We have a tax account as well. This is what I was talking about. A lot of tax people, tax accountants, whatever, will tell you, hey, don't be too profitable because you're going to have to pay a lot more in taxes. Are they right? Yes. But if you follow the system and every single time a dollar comes into your business, you're going to already be saving for that. You're going to already be saving a specific percentage to put directly into your tax account. And then the last one, of course, is probably one of the most important ones because it's going to allow your business to actually make money. It's going to be your operating expenses account. You could just call it OpEx. This is your operating expenses account. This is where a bulk of the money is going to go because you want to keep the business running. Now, it depends. The step number 2, so step number 1 is you're going to talk to your banker. You're going to tell them, hey, I've got this new thing, this new system that I want to basically be able to control my finances and be a profitable business so I could be around for a long time. You're going to set up those 5 accounts. You could probably honestly set it up online as well, but still have the conversation with your banker to make sure they don't charge you any fees. Step number 2 is you're now going to allocate the actual percentages into each account. Now, I know your question is going to be, what exactly should the percentages be? Now, in the book, Profit First, basically, it's different depending on your amount of gross revenue. It varies. If your gross revenue is, say, $100,000, your allocations are going to be different than, say, a business that's $1 million in revenue or $2 million or $5 million. It's going to be different based on that. And really, in the beginning, when you're just starting out, you're actually going to want to be paying yourself. Owner's compensation percentage is going to be a lot higher when you are a smaller company than when you start getting much larger. The percentage is going to be smaller because the revenue is so much more and you still end up making a lot more money, but you just have a lot more expenses, maybe a lot more overhead, a lot more employees that you actually have to employ. So it depends. I'm going to give you an example here that I literally just came up, but please do not hold me to it. I need you to read the book so that you could look at the chart. There is a chart in Profit First that breaks down how much the percentages should be. We call them TAPs. These are your target allocation percentages, okay? You're going to have to do a review of your company over the last 12 months, and you're going to have to basically see where you're at the moment. How much are you actually saving in profit? How much are you actually saving in taxes? It might be 0 for both of those. How much are you paying yourself and how much are your operating expenses over the last 12 months? Those percentages might be all out of whack according to what the Profit First system actually wants you to get towards. So just for an example, you might put away 5% for profit. You might put away 50% for owner's compensation. You might put away 15% for taxes, and you might put away 30% for operating expenses. Again, do not hold me to it. Those are going to vary depending on how much revenue you actually take in. Because maybe your profit could go up to 10%. Maybe your owner's pay could go down to 30% if you're higher in gross revenue. And maybe your operating expenses, depending on how much you really need to get this thing moving on a day-to-day basis, maybe up to 50%. Your tax is going to be anywhere like around 10 to 15% because that's what you just ultimately what we owe in taxes at the end of the year. But that one's so important. Take it from me. When you get hit with that tax bill at the end of the year and it's like $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, it hurts no matter how wealthy you are. It hurts really bad. Obviously, make sure you have a good accountant to try to make sure that you get as much deductions wherever you can. So that's step number 2. You're going to get your TAPs, your target allocation percentages. You're going to figure those out. Read the book. You could really break it down like that. Step number 3 is you're going to want to allocate it. Now, I have a bookkeeper that works for us, and basically she's great. Every week she does it. So every week I wake up on Monday and my revenue is down to where it needs to be. We keep a little bit in the revenue account, just, you never know. But ultimately you can get it down to 0 because the revenue is only an income account. You don't want any expenses coming out of your revenue. But anyway, every week she goes in, and on Monday morning when I wake up, everything's allocated. I've got all my money, my operating expenses, I got my tax money saved in, I got the profit saved in, and I've got the owner's pay saved in there. Now, I do have a salary, and I do have owner's distribution, and that always comes out of that account directly. So you're going to have to make sure that you actually allocate it at least twice per month. I would suggest every 2 weeks, whatever revenue that you gained over 2 weeks, you're going to want to have that sucker allocated, all the separate accounts, so that everything is organized and good to go. It'll give you a good idea based on how much your fixed expenses are or how much you have to spend. You're going to know exactly how much you have in that account for at least the next 2 weeks, if not for the next month. Now, make sure in the beginning, before you do all of this, that you get an understanding of what your actual operating expenses are, how much you want to get paid, so on and so forth. But man, it is a crystal clear view of exactly what you have to spend, how much you have for profit, so on and so forth. Step number 4, okay, I'm going to include 2 things in step number 4. Number 1 is make sure that whatever is spent in the company, that you are taking it out of the operational expense account. Do not take it out of the revenue account, the tax account, and so on and so forth. Keep it there. Make sure that it's there. And along with step number 4 is the beauty, is the best part of this whole thing. At the end of every quarter, you're going to take whatever you got in your profit account, and that's what you have. Now, there's 2 options, okay? What you want to do, you're going to take the profit account, and 50% of it, guess what you're going to do with it? You're going to give yourself a bonus. As the business owner, let me tell you, we put in pretty much twice and 3 times as much work as anybody does. And we've got all the pressures of it as well. So at the end of every quarter, whatever is in your profit account, you're going to take 50% and you're going to give yourself a bonus. That's right, a bonus. I'm sure some of you are looking at me like, what, a bonus? Like, for me, 15 years, I didn't take my first bonus until probably last year. That's right. Last year. So give yourself a bonus. Give yourself a reward. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel like, all right, I'm doing something. I'm telling you, like, it is like a mental thing where once you, at the end of every quarter, you take 50% of that and you just put it in your pocket and you use it for something fun. You talk to your wife or husband and talk to your family and say, hey, we got a bonus this quarter. Let's go do something fun. It's a really, really nice feeling to do that. Now, the book recommends that you take the 50% and you take the tax account and you basically empty it and you put it into an account that you can't touch it. Now, if you're the type that you're going to be tempted in your bank account to take that money out of the profit over 50% or take that tax money to use it for the operating expenses, then I would suggest that you go ahead and move it to another bank. It's to suggest a bank that's sort of hard to find, like the one that I told you when I was first starting out. I don't really have that, nor do I want to go through it, but I'm very, very strict on where I spend my money anyway. So I'm okay with leaving it there. So I just see that sucker, the tax account just keeps adding up just so I could be ready for taxes. And whatever is left over at the end of the year, if you do get a lot of deductions and your taxes don't equate to what's in that account, well, guess what? That's money for you as well. That's money that you could stick into the profit account and you can take half of it. Now, if that half after 2, 3, 4 quarters in the profit account starts to grow nicely, you could figure out now I'm cash heavy, I've got some money and I can take some of that and I could reinvest it into the company or take some more out and reinvest it in something else. But I'm telling you, it's just a very nice crystal clear picture of the actual profit that you're actually bringing in, of the actual operating expenses that you have, and of the actual taxes that you need to pay. Let me tell you, it's a breath of fresh air and it makes you feel really, really nice. And it's just an overall great way of keeping organized. You know I'm big into systems and processes. It's just another system that you're going to implement into your company to make sure that everything is where it needs to be. That's the way to do it. Because if you don't do that, take it from me, you might run out of money. Take it from me, you might spend too much money on things in your business that you think are good for the business, but ultimately only end up draining the business and just giving you more reasons to have less sleep and lose sleep over it and just more stress. And it's not what you want. We don't want to be a slave to our business, guys. The whole point of entrepreneurship, the whole point of owning a business is to have the freedom and the time to do what you want. When your finances are organized, it takes it to a whole other level. Now, just like a lot of things that I do, I actually hired a coach. All right. When in doubt, I tried to do this by myself and it became a little bit complicated. I actually hired a coach. She's going to be on the podcast. Her name is Megan Schwann. Shout out to Megan. Great, great person. Her company is Sidekick Accounting. And I would just strongly recommend that you go ahead and reach out to her because I think it can go a long way in actually helping you out staying organized. It helps us. I have a bookkeeper, but it helps all of us just understand and we get a bird's eye view of everything every single month to make sure, are we doing the right things? Are we spending in the right places? Can we spend here? Can we not spend there? and it just makes things a lot easier. And it's how I run all of my businesses, is all through Profit First. Every single one of my businesses in my Chase account has 5 to 10 different accounts, because I also have a marketing account. I also have a payroll account. I got things separated even more to make sure I know exactly where things are going and how much money we have for all of those things. And if revenue starts to decrease a little bit, then those percentages keep going, and then you realize that, hey, I need to cut more stuff out, or I need to generate more sales. It's just a great bird's eye view to give you an understanding and give you more sleep at night. And that's it, guys. That's what we got. The Profit First system is the way to keep the financial books in order for your business. I do not recommend any other system. And if it's not that system, just have a system. But more importantly, what I really want to get across here, the big idea that I really want to get across here, is just make sure that you keep your profit and make sure that you're paying yourself. Because there's too many times that I've talked to business owners, and again, experience from myself as well, that you just do all this work and you never give yourself a bonus, and you're never really as profitable as you want, and you just don't pay yourself what you actually deserve. This system allows you to do that so that you can be a happier business owner and just be ultimately more successful in your business, and will also be successful in your life. Guys, I hope you really enjoyed that. I hope you get something out of it. And quite frankly, I hope that you go ahead and buy that book. I don't receive anything for it, but I do suggest that you go ahead and buy that book. Actually, you could find it in the Amazon store, which we have a link to, which we do receive an affiliate fee from Amazon. It ain't much, but if you would like to support the show, you can go ahead and purchase the Profit First book through our Amazon shop, and it'll get to you pretty quickly. So go ahead and purchase that and get it so that you can build this really good habit now while you're starting out, or if you're struggling, like get it implemented now. If you have any more questions, please reach out to me on Instagram. Please book a one-to-one call, and I'll be happy to go ahead and break it down even further for you and really take your game to the next level. So thank you guys for watching. Every Wednesday, we are here to teach you 3 times a week. We got the guest podcast show on Monday. We go live at 10 a.m. on Sundays. And if you need anything, if you want anything, just make sure that you go ahead and book a call with me. Feel free to contact me at any time through DMs on Instagram or Facebook, and I'll be happy to answer any of the questions that you have. Make sure you make sure you subscribe to the channel, and click that bell, because you're going to want to see every single new show that comes out here, because we are dropping fire. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the show, and I hope you learned something. We'll see you next Wednesday. Peace out. Thank you for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the show. I put a lot of work, an entire team, we put a lot of work into this to make sure that you get what you need. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell. And don't forget to share the information as well. I promise there's going to be somebody else that will enjoy it as well. Set up a one-to-one with me so we can see how we can take your game to the next level.